All right. Here we are. Let me know right away. Is there a delay in my microphone, boys? Because again, that's always a problem. Let's make sure we got that right out the gate. If there's an issue. Can you guys hear me? Am I live? There we go. We're live now. All right, everybody. Let me know. Can you hear me? I don't see anybody in the chat at the moment. Are we live? I see everybody in here. I don't get, yes, we're live. All right. There's a little bit of lag for some reason. I'm going to switch up my microphone real quick because I have a feeling. You can't hear me? Yes, you can. All right. We got a great episode today. I'm just waiting to see if anybody says there's a delay or not. If there's not a delay, saw me on Alex today. I know. Yeah, that was a good one. You can hear me. All right. Good. We got it. All right. This is going to be a good one, guys. I'm excited today. I got a great guest coming on here in a couple minutes. We'll let everybody kind of bring in. No delay. All right. We're good. We're finally good on the good mic. Thank God. All right. So great episode today. I'm bringing on one of my buddies who is an 18 Delta Special Forces medic. Because we're going to talk about some really weird stuff with the anatomy and just people not treating Charlie Kirk. And we're just going to basically go through start to finish all the super weird shit going on in this case that just does not make sense from start to finish. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So people are funneling in fast. So what we're going to do, first thing we're going to do, we're going to bring our guest on. Some of you are going to know who he is. He's got a brand new YouTube channel. He just launched, I don't know, a couple minutes ago, but you might know him from Instagram. So let's bring him in right now. My buddy Alex, the Sticky Green Beret. I imagine a lot of people in the chat know you from your Instagram meme page, Alex, and excited to have you on. Give a little introduction for those who might not know you, and then let them know what your YouTube channel is going to be and what you're going to be doing over there. It just launched, guys.
Yeah, literally like a couple minutes ago, I figured out how to get it uploaded. But yeah, like you said, I am Alex, also known as the Sticky Green Beret on Instagram, former 18 Delta Sky God who just kind of started making jokes on the internet, and here we are. The new YouTube channel, super excited about it. It's going to be the home for all things Sticky Green Beret. We're going to do lifestyle stuff. We're going to talk some shit. We're going to do, all the usual YouTube shenanigans. But the main thing that I'm super excited about is the new podcast, War Stories with the Sticky Green Beret. I know you guys are tired of all these cool guy podcasts where it's the same guests every time telling the same stories. So we're going to do a call-in show. And every week I'm going to give a topic. For instance, you'll see on the video now, the first topic is going to be basic training. And I'm going to open the phone lines, and I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from veterans. I want to hear from active duty. If you want to tell some stuff you probably shouldn't tell, you could be totally anonymous. We're probably going to do a segment called Flame Your Command, where you could call in anonymously and just talk about all the terrible stuff that's going on around you. We know all about it. And it's going to be a lot of fun, man. The stories are wild. We know, as a veteran, Nate, you know what the stories are like.
You guys are going to love that. I mean, all the veterans out there are going to know all the hilarious humor that comes along with that. And that's why I love the idea behind your show, is not another sit down and cry about our trauma and our war stories, but actually have some fun, tell some hilarious war stories. So guys, pin comment right now. Alex literally just launched his channel minutes ago. Go over there, subscribe to him, follow him. He's going to have a great show. Also, again, going to be a very important guest. You got two Green Berets here. You got one that's an expert in trauma medicine. That's going to be important as we move through this. So let's, and everybody's already talking about your mustache. So already a fan favorite right now with the incredible mustache, the Tom Selleck stash you got going on. Maybe more impressive than Tom Selleck.
I appreciate it. I get a young Sam Elliott is what I get a lot.
Okay.
I'll take that one too,
Young Sam Elliott. I like that. All right. So let's why not? We got over 2,000 people in here already funneling in the first couple of minutes. So we could start. Let's start I want to start at the beginning of, we're going to figure out we're not going to figure it out because the case is fucked up, but is this kid really the shooter? Is Tyler Robinson the shooter? There's a lot of problems with him potentially being the shooter. The first one that I want to start with is him. Let's start with actually the 30-06, not necessarily the ballistic side of it, but Now, from what I'm hearing, Alex, I don't know if you've heard this 30-06, which we'll pull it up. It's the famous photo that everybody knows. I'll bring it up here right now for the viewers. Stand by 1 second, guys, as we get this pulled up. We all know it, right? It's the nighttime black in the box 30-06. Let's take a look at this, guys. So we all know this photo. And what I started noticing about a week ago was that when the FBI came out, Alex, and said they had Grandpappy's old World War I 30-06. And I'm looking at this rifle and I'm going, that's synthetic plastic. It's composite stock with a stainless steel barrel. That you can buy that at Walmart. This cannot be Grandpappy's 30-06.
There is a 0% chance that it's Grandpappy's World War II rifle.
And you know what's interesting is I have Grandpappy's old World War II 30-06. My grandpa jumped into Normandy on D-Day. This is his rifle. And as you notice, it's very, very different, guys. See how it's all made of wood? So this is how Grandpappy's old World War I relic looks, not Walmart brand. But what's it? So what I heard now is the FBI has now walked back this picture. They're saying now, we never said this was the rifle.
Oh, that was just an example. That was they were showing an example, I guess.
Well, supposedly now this was leaked. And then what seems to me it happened is like people like me and you came out and went, this is not a World War I relic rifle. And and the FBI maybe goes, oh shit, like we can't have that be the rifle now. So I don't know what rifle that is. But apparently there's a second 30-06 that's floating around in the nether that carried this out. I want to ask you, I mean, I've done ballistic tests on this as someone who's treated 18 Delta trauma medic, some of the best trauma medicine doctors in the world, high-powered rifle rounds on human beings. I mean, what's your thought process on the 30-06 round from 139 yards not creating an exit wound on a human neck?
Yeah, and that's we all hear bullets do weird things when they hit stuff, and everyone knows the story of the guy that he got hit and it wrapped around his head and went out, but not with a 30-06 from inside 200 rounds or 200 yards to the neck. Like there's just not a chance. There's not a chance that it doesn't exit, and not a chance that when it does exit, it's a massive hole.
So would you say we're talking like a standard 30-06 standard round? I say 0% chance it doesn't create an exit wound.
No, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
not even a 0.00 Powerball's chance.
Aside from being Wolverine, no. It's the neck. A small piece of no, it's not. A little vertebrae is not going to stop a 30-06.
And what's interesting about this is we keep hearing that Tyler Robinson took this 30-06 to the roof to carry this attack out, and everybody said, I don't have the footage with me, but we've all seen it, right? Him walking through the neighborhood as he's supposedly limping. He's limping a little bit. I kind of disproved his knees are still bending enough. Right. That he definitely does not have this 44-inch long gun in his skinny jeans, right? I think we all can go, that's ridiculous. But then I've kind of heard the excuse, and I'm going to pull this next video up because I think it's important when we're talking about, is this kid the shooter? This video shows him from every angle coming up the stairs in that stairwell where he supposedly, keep in mind, guys, he's got a 44-inch long gun somewhere on his body. Some people tried to say, oh, well, it was up, the buttstock was up his back, right? And then the barrel was down the back of his leg, so it only made him limp a little bit. But when we watch this, there's some problems with that. We can very clearly see he's got no 30-06 with a giant scope in his skinny jeans in the front and the side of his legs, right? So,
and with that amount of bend, it's not in the left pant leg either. I mean,
yeah, no,
if it was down to his knee, it'd be sticking out the back of his waistband. I mean, it's
right.
Like,
I saw some arguments that said it's in the back, it's on his back, and it's going down the back of his leg. But let's watch this video. Let's look at this. Okay, here he turns. And then, oh, okay, well, this is a perfect image. Now, where is the giant 44-inch 30-06 that's running up the back of his leg? Wouldn't we see a giant buttstock protruding out of his upper mid back here? He's not that tall. He's about 6 feet tall, I think, supposedly. There's no fully set up 44-inch long gun. Can we all agree on that in these photos?
No,
not on his back. So the only possibility here is that in this tiny little black backpack, which is, I'm going to say, no more than maybe 20 inches, he's got a broken down 30-06. That's what has to be the case, right? For him to get it to the roof, because he doesn't have it on him. Well, the problem with that is the barrel itself is 22 to 24 inches. The barrel's not going to fit in this backpack. Right? Am I crazy here?
No, absolutely not.
So, I mean, Alex, do you think you could even fit like a short barreled 10.5 inch AR-15 in this tiny little backpack?
If you broke it down, probably, yeah, but
like all the way.
Not. Yeah, if you broke it down, maybe, but I mean, the pieces that gun breaks down into, that your grandpappy's rifle breaks down into, is not that. No.
So, also, guys, this break it down, reassemble it, break it down. For those of you who don't know, who've never broken down Grandpappy's old 30-06, which we have here, for one, it takes a long time. Two, you need a vice clamp to put it in. You need multiple tools. You don't just wing your way through this in 20 seconds and just build this thing out and rebuild it. It's not a thing. So for me, this is a huge problem, because if that's the images of him going to the roof to take this shot, where's the fucking gun? You, Alex, you got any?
I got nothing. Nope.
You got nothing. Chat, we got anything? Where is this rifle? So if he didn't take it to the roof, which again, supposedly he goes up to the roof, he changes his clothes, which I'm confused about, because he's already in supposedly the clothes he changed into here in this picture we just showed. And then he reassembles this rifle. He takes the shot, and I don't know if I have the footage. We've all seen the footage of him running off the backside of the roof 100 times, right?
Yeah, that was the video when everyone was like, I think he's a trained pro. And I'm like, did you see his dismount off the back of the building? I think we can rule out trained professional.
Yeah, no, I think it's the idea that kid is a trained professional based off of, he crawls up to the edge of the roof, right? So everybody can see him highlighted and silhouetted to take the shot. I mean, do you think this is a trained professional? Now, again, I don't think this is where the shot is taken, and that's what we're going to get into next. But like, just from this kid, what you're seeing out of this kid, I don't think nothing screams like professional out of this kid.
No.
So if we look at this, there's a great video. Now we talk about, let's say somehow we don't know how he got this 30-06 to the roof, because we've just shown it makes no sense how he got it up there. But let's say he's got the Houdini backpack and he pulled this off. He got it to the roof. Well, the ballistics on this, and this is a fantastic video that was done by a channel. Let's pull it up. I don't know if I showed you this one already or not, Alex. The gentleman who did all the sort of pathology and ballistics on this. This video from Peak Prosperity. It's got a ton of views, analysis. What he essentially shows and breaks down through, not my opinion, through math and physics, that essentially the shot was taken from a 9-degree offset to Charlie and a 9-degree slope. And where Charlie was hit, and this is going to be sort of down your lane, in the anatomy lane, where he was hit here, that direction of that round would not have even hit his spine to begin with. What's your thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I haven't watched the video, but yeah, I mean, if it's depending on where it's from, yeah, it's very possible that it could go in at an angle and not hit the spine.
But what gets crazy here is we know it hit the spine, and this is where I would probably lean on you. We kind of know he hits the spine based off his reaction, right? Like that.
Right.
I don't know what that's called exactly.
It's called decorticate posturing. Okay. And it's basically like, yeah, it's kind of the lights out move.
So essentially that gets hit. It's a brain stem, brain damage. Like Charlie's not with us immediately after that.
Right.
So if we know the round that hit him, obviously the reaction to his body and the effects of that obviously hit him in the spine. And we know that angle couldn't have hit him in the spine. Now we have a problem, because if this not possible for him to be hit in the spine from that angle of that shot, but he was hit in the spine, well, where did the shot come from? Do you have any theories? There's 1,000 theories out there based off of what you've seen on that.
I mean, I don't think it came from the roof. And that's the thing, is like, when the whole thing started, we start talking about it, I'm like, yeah, maybe this is just some lone guy that got mad, whatever. But the more stuff that comes out, and when, I think it's the beauty of like the social media age, and everyone's a detective and everyone has a million videos, everybody filmed it, so it's like that narrative only lasts for as long as somebody with an iPhone dissects a new piece of video, so as it unwraps and it goes further and further, then you start looking at this stuff. You're like, well, it didn't come from the roof. And if it didn't exit, probably wasn't a 30-06 from 200 yards. So where's it from and what was it?
Yeah. And that's what there's 100 different ideas of that. I want to, and we'll get into sort of the pathology of that. We're going to talk about a few things, the lapel mic gunshot and a few different things.
It's crazy, because I first heard that one and I was like, no way. And then you look at it and you start looking at some of that stuff and you're like, maybe way, there's so many, but you look at it and you're like, this looks like this, but kind of looks like this. Or you're like, oh, yeah, I don't know. You got to look at it all.
There's the palm pistol that he was shot from behind is another one. This is actually an exit. Yeah. I want to talk about that, because I think, Rob O'Neill just came out. Did you post that? You sent me that, right? Rob O'Neill talking about on Pierce Morgan.
Might have just been in the chat.
Might have been in the chat. So Rob O'Neill was talking about how he also, again, doesn't believe the official narrative, thinks it's ridiculous, just like we all do. And he talked about how he thinks it looks like an exit wound. I know a lot of guys, the Range Day Bro video, that was a really popular theory. From what you saw, do you think it's possible that is an exit wound that we're seeing? I'm not sure I'm bought into the exit wound theory on that.
So from the beginning, I've always thought it looked like an entry wound, just the way that it reacts. It's like you see the shot, everything kind of like stops for a second, which happens when someone all the vessels kind of retract for a second, and then everything releases. Why it's kind of look like maybe he got hit, and then when that stuff comes out, when an exit wound comes out, it's blowing stuff out with it. Right. It's not like here's a little hole shows up and then some stuff. No, it's like everything's coming out. So I don't know anything for sure, but I would say, in my opinion, I think it's an entry wound.
Entrance wound.
Yeah.
I do too. I think, and I'll pull it up here in a second. The cavitation in his neck. I want to talk about that next. You can see sort of the cavitation blow out in his neck. I think to the point where a lot of people thought that was like blood that blew out back behind him, but it turned out it was a necklace, I believe.
Yeah,
I thought it was like, I thought maybe it was like a mic cord. I knew it wasn't blood, something like that. But is that possible where that cavitation in his neck could have expanded out, broke that chain? We saw the chain fly backwards. That to me is got to be something like, and it could be 223 or above, but some type of high powered rifle round that could cause that cavitation. Would you think?
Yeah, for sure. But then it also brings back the question of where's the exit wound, something with that much force going in there, creating that much. And so I'll be honest with you, when I look at the shirt puff, that to me, the shirt puff is the most indicator of some kind of lapel mic thing,
Can you explain that? Because the t-shirt stuff is driving everybody kind of bonkers about like, what does this all mean? Can you explain what the t-shirt and the cavitation in his neck and all that's happening for the viewer?
Yeah. I mean, once the bullet makes entry, it's carrying a ton of energy. As soon as it hits anything, it starts to expand, break into pieces. It's destroying stuff inside, and it creates the force creates a gigantic cavitation, and as it passes through, it blows all that up and expands and comes back down. And so that's why people could be saying they see the shirt going as as, the effect of the cavitation basically expanding as that round enters and then disperses all of its energy.
Kind of what we're seeing right here in that
Yep.
ballistic gel, guys. There's that cavitation. And I think this is a 5.56 round. So that's an even massive cavitation from a 5.56 round there.
Yeah. And the fact that the neck is essentially the first quarter of that ballistic gel.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the rest of it afterwards is not neck anymore,
So here's what I was thinking when we got this pulled up. Let's see, we get it right here. So my problem with the lapel mic theory is kind of just some physics involved here.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got the lapel mic as we see on his lower right side, okay? Which I'm not disproving this. I'm just saying I've got some issues with it, because if we think about any type of ballistic, right, with gunpowder, let's say it's a pistol, right? When that round goes off, right, what happens? Okay, well, my slide is going to move in the opposite direction. Or with a rifle, I'm going to get that recoil. My problem with this theory on the lapel mic is that the mic moves in the wrong direction. If the mic, let's say, fires something out of it, when we see it, it moves in the direction of the round.
Yep.
Which to me kind of breaks the laws of physics a little bit here. Like if we watch this, see where the mic moves? It moves
absolutely
with the round. To me, and again, I'm not discounting anything because I don't have all the answers, but this by itself, just if there was some type of gunpowder explosive device in that lapel mic, you would expect it to go the opposite direction. It would have
for sure.
Tiny little magnet holding onto that lapel mic, it would have blown it
it's going
off.
crazy. Yeah,
it's blowing off his shirt the opposite direction. Right. That's just what ballistic physics. But again,
for sure.
Who knows what kind of weird shit? I don't know. I'm not discounting this theory. It's just when I see that mic move in the direction of the bullet, to me, it kind of goes, The problem, too, is we don't really see anything on an entrance wound, potentially, because coming from the right side and up, this has to be the exit wound.
Right.
Did it go up into his neck, hit the jawbone, potentially, and come back out?
Depending on what it is or what it could be, who knows? But yeah, I think you're absolutely right as far as the mic moving the opposite direction. The only thing I would see is if it was frame by frame broken down, if there's some kind of a projectile goes through and pulls the shirt with it. Maybe we don't see the mic move back before we see it move forward with the shirt. I don't know, and I also don't know what all kind of stuff out there exists if you want to do this to someone,
and we didn't know there was the ability that you could have pager bombs until that just became a thing.
So now I'm like, mic bomb, sure, why not?
So we have the
technology. We have the technology.
I'm not discrediting that one. It's just when I saw it, I'm like, if that had that mic blown off his shirt that way, I would have been like, oh shit. We might have something real nasty. All right, let's hit some super chats, and then guys. If you have questions, if you have theories, let us know. We'll try to get them. Thanks to all the new members. X-Files Alex, concession money for the game tonight. Is this from somebody in Junction City? We got the kids game here in
nice.
In an hour and a half. Hello from Pompey Beach, Florida. Thank you, Jasmine, as a member. Join as a member. Great show. Also, guys, pin comment, go subscribe to Alex's channel. All right. Great dude. Super funny. Also, again, the meme page. If your content's anything like your meme page, it's going to be fantastic. Doppelganger. Yeah, we have another. If we could get Alex to grow the beard out, we'd have another doppelganger.
So here's the thing. In the winter, I actually do grow a beard out, but out here on the farm, it's way too hot to rock full beard all the time.
All right, so once there's a running joke, we've got me, JD Delay, and Fat Electrician, and if you grow a beard out, we'll probably have a montage of guys that look exactly the same. All right, the FBI doesn't have a case that holds water anymore. We're going to get into that when we get into the new legal team being hired. Giant $50 dono for Alex's mustache.
Thank you. Maybe the mustache will have its own page one day.
Yeah. FBI DOJ want you fixated on Charlie Kirk. There's enough votes to force Epstein files released next week. Yeah, they that was kind of another weird one. 1 hour before or 1 hour after Charlie's pronounced dead, the Senate blocks the Epstein files. So FBI is lying. Another FBI is lying. I don't know if the FBI is lying or they're incompetent, but I can tell you it's one of the two. From President Nixon's revenge, Charlie is on the same day Congress voted no. Yep, we just talked about that. I know, just pretty fucking weird. Walter, $5. Yeah. We know that is our government by the balls, bribes, Epstein files, pattern recognition. Yep. I mean, I'm not, it doesn't really make sense on this one to me. However, we're going to get into the bodyguards here next as we break out, or we break down some of the weird stuff with that. When was he even ever mic'd up? Well, yeah, he is mic'd up, guys, because they do the show digitally as well. And so he's got a mic that's running for his live stream or for his YouTube channel. So that's a normal thing. But again, was it mic bomb? I don't know. Whole narrative is false and created. Kind of feels like that. It might be a schizo, but I'm convinced it was a palm gun. I've seen that one. Have you seen that clip? The palm gun guy?
Yep.
So my problem with that is, as far as I know, I don't know any type of small handgun like that can create the cavitation in the neck that we just saw. Would you think that a small, like a 22 pistol or something like that is not causing that giant cavitation?
And somebody around him would have hurt. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Something small enough to be in a palm, it's not going to be suppressed. You're going to hear something when someone fires a palm gun from right next to you.
That for sure. All right. So next, guys, I want to get into. We're going to get, and this is where Alex is going to have to lead this one on the expertise, because we're going to get into the treatment of Charlie Kirk after he was shot. Man, this is so bizarre, but we have to cover it because this is something that's really not been talked about other than my buddy Dan, Heavy Duty Country. This is his video that he put out. And when I saw this, and Alex, I know I showed you this already, I was just immediately like, oh, this is sketchy. So we're going to watch that. We're going to watch that next, guys. Just watch their hands, right? All these guys are supposed to be treating Charlie Kirk. He just got shot in the throat, in the carotid. As we watch this, and the guy there in the center, you'll see in a second. All right. You can see his hands there. No one has blood on them anywhere. Handing things off. Very weird. Excuse me. All right. So we've seen everyone's hands, everyone who's supposedly trying to stop the bleeding of this carotid artery gunshot wound. And there's no blood at all on anyone. Alex, as an 18 Delta, what is the likelihood when someone is shot in the carotid artery and you go down to treat them that there is no blood on anyone?
Zero. Because the first thing you're going to do is apply pressure, and you're not just going to. I saw in the video, they're like, oh, maybe he's just that guy, his one hand you don't see, he's doing it. Or it's not a one hand thing. You're not just going to kind of reach in there and be like, oh, yeah, I think I got it. Like. People would be grabbing towels, taking off shirts, whatever, in order to apply pressure to the neck, and for me, even they lift his arm and his own arm comes by him, and he just shot in the neck and fell forward out of the chair. I would imagine you can't see it, but probably onto his front where his arms are, and there's no blood.
Nope. And I have a picture of that. Let's see if I can find it here. And I have a picture of the scene, that exact spot where the chair fell over, where he is on the ground. And again, I'm not claiming this is fake video or anything. I'm just saying, very bizarre that the people who should be trying to save this man's life obviously did not. It's either nefarious or massive incompetence, because like you said, someone would have had blood on their hands. I'm burying my hands in that artery to try to stop the blood, screaming at the guy next to me, take your shirt off so we can pound that in like there's gauze in there, get pressure on that. And there's 100%.
There's none of that going on.
And then you see this, which is the after.
This is crazy. Yeah.
And if we look at this, guys, there's a tiny little bit of blood tiny little bit of blood on the table where he was sitting at, right? We see that there. There's no blood on the grass. There's no blood anywhere. Like, Alex, I mean, with gunshot wounds, not even ones that aren't arterial. We're talking about an arterial gunshot wound. There's just no blood where he got shot.
I've seen more blood from someone losing half a foot. No joke. I've seen more blood from someone hitting a booby trap, losing half a foot. So
no arteries involved, nothing. I tell this story. We had right before I left Okinawa, we had a brand new team leader had been on the team, not my team, one of the teams down the hallway, and I was actually running ops on the B team at the time. I'm briefing the commander or the sergeant major and the company commander, and we just hear a bang in the hallway. And everybody's like, the fuck is that, right? But nobody thinks anything because it's a team room hall or it's a company hallway. You're like, maybe somebody's fucking around. I don't know. It sounds like maybe a door got slammed. And then we hear screaming. And we're like, what the fuck? And then we hear like, medic, medic, medic. And we're like, oh, they're doing medical training. And then we hear even more screaming. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because I'm in the middle of a brief. I go and look down the hallway and there's a dude. It's the team leader in the hallway, and there's blood everywhere, dude. It's like all over the ground. So what happened was they brought back their guns from the range, and he didn't download his Glock 19. And so he's sitting in a chair in the team room, and he's trying to figure out how to take the slide off, right? And he's fucking with it. And I think somebody finally tells him like, hey, you have to decompress the trigger to get the slide to come off of a Glock.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Well, he's got a round in the chamber, and he's got it on his pinky, and he's got it pointed at his knee, right? He pulls the trigger, it blows his pinky off, it shoots through, and it shoots at the ground, right? It shoots through his quad. Dude, there was blood on the ceiling of the team room from a downward gunshot wound, not even to anything arterial. Blood was everywhere, right? And so now we're talking about a shot to the carotid. And there's no blood?
No. And that's aside from the arterial bleed. I've heard a theory about, his heart was stopped instantly. And so there's no blood coming out anymore.
Explain that one for us.
If that's the case, how come none of those three dudes are doing CPR? If his heart is stopped and no longer beating, why isn't one of those three dudes doing CPR? And then you hear like he was alive and we got him there, or he died in the ambulance, or what someone would be doing CPR. He's either profusely bleeding with someone putting a bunch of pressure on it, or someone's doing CPR. Like those are the two. And even if you're doing CPR, someone still is covering the neck wound with their hands.
Yes, that too, right? It's not like
we're going to do one or the other or neither.
And I don't want to like say these bodyguards are acting in bad faith, but this isn't even the weirdest thing around these bodyguards. Like there's all this weird shit with the, again, like the timer of the thing going off with the guy in the brown shirt. The fact this guy in the brown shirt, if we watch him back, is literally smiling and like laughing as he's treating Charlie Kirk. Let me pull this up here real quick. Let me get it right back to the still frame. Yeah, like look at this. When we look at this guy, and this is the same brown shirt guy that's got all the sketchy stuff that he's got going on with him. While he's doing this, like, look at this guy's face. Like, he's got a big ass fucking grin on his face. What is this? As no one is stopping the bleeding.
Right.
And so here's why I got some big problems with this, Alex, is we know there's a high fidelity camera from TPUSA right above Charlie, pointed right down, that would literally show what these guys are doing. They'd show exactly what they're doing. And that's the one piece of footage we are not getting. At first, I thought like, oh, maybe that footage is going to show something weird with an entrance wound or an exit wound, and maybe it solves the case. Now I'm starting to think they don't want to release that footage because it's going to show that nobody treated Charlie Kirk.
And I'll tell you this too, even just as a medic with combat experience, even if you're the most trained dude in the world, when someone gets hit, like you still go to work. Like they just look extremely casual, extremely unbothered by it. Oh, it doesn't look like anyone there is A, kneeling over a dead or dying man, or B, doing everything that they can to save him. You could have all the training in the world, and when that kicks in, you go to work, and there's a look to it, and it's still like it's intense. Even if you've seen it one time or 100 times, you're not just going to take a knee and joke around with your buddies and kind of whatever.
Yeah, and it's like to your point, they're handing things off to each other. Guy's got a smile on his face. Nobody's got blood on their hands. Like, look at that. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, the handoff is super weird. That right there.
What are you giving him? And why aren't your hands bloody? You're the guy there in the center who
he's in the best position.
Like, he's in the best position. He's right over him, and he's the one guy. It's like your hands aren't bloody either. And now you're handing weird shit off to somebody. I don't know, man. Again, this maybe wouldn't seem that weird if the entire case didn't have all these lies and just bizarre things going on. Yeah, somebody says car keys. Okay, maybe, but that's not the only thing that gets handed off. Like, there's that same guy in the brown shirt. He immediately jumps the fence, runs up, hands shit off. That's where I said maybe those are the car keys. Then they go down to treat Charlie Kirk, and then they're pulling things up like where from Charlie's at handing things off. Like, how many sets of car keys are we handing off here?
And that's one thing you touched on it a little bit earlier when you talk about like, oh, if this was the only thing, it wouldn't be that weird. And then all these things come out and you're like, oh, it is kind of weird. People also that don't know, like, we've worked for the government in a capacity. People that don't know think that like the FBI are the best and brightest that America has to offer, recruited because they're the smartest and they care the most about America. Like, once you work for the government, you realize that it's not, these guys that when you were a kid, you're like, oh, these guys are the best. And then you grow up and you're like, no, that's like Mark from my third grade class that barely passed, but he got a degree. So they took him, like it's.
Well, it's one of the funniest things. I love that you bring that up is, there was always like hey, if you do 3 years on an ODA, you're pretty much an automatic hire to the FBI. And like, everybody was like, yeah, that's a fucking joke, right? Like, you got to be the dude that like washes off, gets kicked off the teams, goes to works in the arms room, and then is like, yeah, that dude's gonna get out. Like, sorry if this is you out there. I'm not trying to talk too much shit, but Alex is gonna know what I'm talking about. Like, for us, we're like, yeah, that's a joke, dude. Nobody's gonna do
just trying to put it in perspective. Like, these aren't geniuses. These aren't guys geniuses working around the clock to solve this. That's no.
Well, they obviously didn't work around the clock to solve it, and I'm going to show that right here, because as soon as this happened, they didn't lock. And I had one of the former directors of the FBI on last week, Chris Piota, who literally he said the same thing. This is a fucking clusterfuck. He can't believe how bad the FBI's done. And I asked him about like, why was the crime scene never locked down? There was nothing done. And he was like, yeah, they never locked it down. There's no investigation done. They just went about their business. And only did they go ahead.
I was just going to say, you could see in some of the videos, like people walking up and like taking stuff off the table and walking away and stuff. It's like nowhere else in history. I mean, I won't say nowhere else in history, but like typically if someone gets shot,
he's shot.
If someone gets shot, they make a perimeter, like it's no one's walking up and taking something off the table. That was super, super weird to me.
And not just that, but then immediately what happens? The fucking university paving over the area. Like, what? This is still a crime scene in my opinion. Look at that. Completely paved over the entire crime scene. So to me, that's still an active crime scene. We haven't solved the case, and they're just paving over where he got shot. That's not weird to anyone else.
Has anyone from the university, or have you heard anything as to why it was so necessary to start and finish this construction in the spot? Like, I'd like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they had it scheduled, but still, it's an active crime scene. They're like, oh, if we don't do it now, they can't come back for 6 months. Well, let's do it. Like, no. It's still a crime scene, dude. Like,
the law enforcement could tell the university, you will not pave over this area while we're
100%. And you would think they would. That would be the move.
But they're not.
Nope.
They're just like, nope, you're good. And what's so crazy to me is no one is questioning any of this outside of like YouTubers like us. Like, no, if you go on Fox News, no questions. FBI narrative. This kid killed him. Moving on.
Is it really?
No one. Oh, Fox News isn't touching this with a 10-foot fucking pole.
That's Fox. Just crazy. No accountability.
Well, it just is. It's so bizarre. And even like you look at Turning Point, and I'm like, he's supposed to be like all these people that worked with him. That's supposed to be your best friend, dude. If my best friend got assassinated on live TV and there was all this crazy, sketchy shit behind this, you could promise I would be dumping all the footage. I would be getting all of this to all the experts. I would be working overtime trying to figure out what the hell happened to my friend. And I don't want to point fingers, but they don't give a shit. They're just like, yeah, on with the show. We're good.
Also, I lost my dog and stayed home for like 3 weeks without doing anything, you know? Like I wasn't like put my dog down and then I'm like, we're going to Six Flags this weekend to party, you know? Like
2 days later, just like,
anything.
Yeah, whoa, cool. Let's keep going. This is awesome. I'm literally quoted, I'm so excited. Like,
yeah,
what are we doing? And again, everybody grieves differently, but if it was me and one of the people closest to me in my life got assassinated on live TV, I'd want to know the answer. And also, I'd want to know who the real killer is. And to me, I'm open to all possibilities, but there's nothing about this story as we've gone through it so far we've got here that tells me this kid is most likely the shooter with a 30-06 from the location that he shot it with. There's nothing that the evidence doesn't point to that.
There are so many inconsistencies with just the Tyler Robinson that it makes it hard to even keep him in the realm of possibility anymore. Like I said at the beginning, I was like, sure, maybe this guy, whatever, he's real angry. But as these holes keep coming through, and then you have people breaking down the angles and stuff like
with math and Newtonian physics, people are disproving this stuff.
Really smart people are saying it's not possible. I'm not that smart, so I probably should listen to what they're saying.
That's when I watched that video we talked about earlier from God, I forget his name. It's in the video. That's what I thought when I watched his video. I was like, holy shit, I'm not smart enough to be talking about this because this dude is so smart. But and guys, before we're going to jump back into super chats, but also my guest, Alex, the Sticky Green Beret. We've got 8,000 people in here now, so obviously a ton of you didn't get here and for the intro. Alex is a former 18 Delta, and he's got a brand new YouTube channel, War Stories with the Sticky Green Beret. It's in the linked comment right now. Get over there, subscribe to his channel. It's going to be hilarious. He's got great stuff coming, all right? So if you haven't subscribed yet, get over there and subscribe for us because he's been a great guest, and he's one of my buddies. All right, let's what was going to jump into next? We had him at Dairy Queen. That's fucking weird. The Dairy Queen stuff. I mean, there's just so much weird shit in this. All right, let's talk about the Dairy Queen stuff. All right, so we all see him apparently, I think 16 minutes after he apparently carries out this assassination, he stops for a chicken strip basket in a blizzard. at Dairy Queen. Okay, yeah, sure, because this is what assassins do. Rather than fleeing the area back to he lives 3 hours away, he stops for a chicken strip basket. Okay, so also it gets even weirder with this Dairy Queen.
By the way, George Webb just reportedly showed that it has a close sign now. It's been removed. This Dairy Queen has just vanished. Watch.
Well, we're at 1545. Is that a Dairy Queen sign? Interestingly enough, looks like it's been totally taken apart.
Okay.
That's strange.
Yeah, that's strange. In the location where Charlie Kirk was.
All right. So if renovating it right away, now he stops for his blizzard and his chicken strip basket at a Dairy Queen that people checked right afterwards doesn't have anything inside it. So again, if like one of these 50 things happened, you'd be like, that's weird. But there's 50 of these weird things. And it's just like this Dairy Queen just shut down. Like it just happened to shut down just right after this kid was in here after this assassination. What's your thoughts on the Dairy Queen shutting down immediately after he's seen there?
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure if he lives 3 hours away, there's more than one Dairy Queen between the university and his house. Maybe he just needed that blizzard real bad. Maybe it was a comfort blizzard, and it was going to make him feel better. But yeah, closed down, completely vacant, empty. I'm sure that's just another random coincidence. I'm sure just like the construction, it was scheduled to be taken down already. So they're like, whatever, we'll just break it down.
Yeah, it was. They were already planning on shutting that Dairy Queen down that week, and it's just a random coincidence. All right, let's hit the super chats, see what everybody's got to say. All right, here we go. Eli, $20. Thanks for all the amazing content. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Cell phone gun, 9mm, hence the decoy boy. I'm not discounting anything, but I think the cavitation in his neck steers me away from the low caliber. Then we got promo gaming, $20. No comment. Thank you very much, brother. Do you think it could be a 7 HRM suppressed? A 17 HRM. I don't know what that is. You know what that is? 17 HRM?
Nope.
You stumped both of us, brother. Find it weird that TPSUA had 3 4K cameras and only FBI has it now. Maybe because it clearly disproves their narrative. Also, why isn't Erica asking any questions? Candace is. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not going to point my fingers at the widow. But to your point, yeah, 3 4K cameras and nobody has the footage of that. And also bizarre, Alex, is those same security guards not saving Charlie Kirk's life are the ones that yanked all the SD cards out of those cameras in front of everyone and made sure. Just don't know.
Does anybody have them now? Does anybody have the 4K video?
Supposedly the FBI.
Supposedly, but, just like they supposedly had the plastic gun in the woods, right?
Yes, correct. That's about where we're at with those.
Just checking, right. Just making sure.
How do we know all the videos were fed wasn't altered as well? We don't. And when we look at the video of him running off the roof, that video is highly edited, and you can tell it's edited. I mean, he's got a shadow, or he's got a shadow, then he's got no shadow. He jumps off the roof, and all of a sudden, people are just vanishing in thin air out of the nether. Like, yeah, very bizarre. All right, cell phone gun, 380 9mm. Hence, oh yeah, we got that one already. Anybody search Erica's family's ties to Israel? I'm not going down those roads, but there is some very, very bizarre things. One thing I'm not doing is, until I can figure out how this was done, I'm not getting in the game of who did this. I need to know how this even fucking happened before I even go down that road. All right, Frank Turek claimed to be in the car giving CPR. I saw that. But he also said that Charlie was dead. But then the hospital said supposedly they resuscitated him. What's the likelihood, Alex? This is a medical question. Dude gets shot, carotid. He bleeds out right there. He gets in the car. He's dead, and his buddy said he was dead. He gets to the hospital 5-10 minutes later, and they resuscitate him. Is that?
I mean, crazier things have happened. I won't say that there's a 0% chance that it happened, but again, going back to what we were talking about earlier. For those things to have happened, different things would have been happening on the ground right behind the table as soon as it happened.
Yeah.
You know, like had he either his heart was pumping and nobody was putting pressure on his neck. So there would have been, 6 gallons of blood on the ground.
Yeah.
Or, his heart stopped, but then someone would have been giving him CPR too. So those two things don't add up together. There'd either be way, way, way more blood, way more people covered in blood, or somebody immediately starting CPR from the time he was on the ground because he was already dead.
And we don't see either of those things. So that's fun. Yeah. Good. All right, cool. Tyler P. really think it's an air gun, not a pellet gun. Pellet gun's not going to create that cavitation and the impact. That's not going to happen. Air gun, I don't know. I keep hearing this air gun theory. I don't know anything about air guns. Do you know?
Dude, I do actually. I shot some in Tennessee, and I will say they are crazy, dude. They are awesome, and people are like taking down deer and hogs and stuff with them. I mean, it's a
real potential in that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's honestly I hadn't even considered that until the super chat, but definitely it could be something to look into because I mean there are people like legit hunting with them. I shot them, and as soon as I shot it, I was like, I need to get one of these for sure.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know anything about air guns, but having you say that's now because a lot of people have been messaging me that comment.
I hadn't even thought.
And what if it was an air gun? And I'd never shot one. Don't know anything about them. But now that you said that, now we got more possibilities. Yay. That's exactly what we need in this case.
Yes.
Yes. More possibilities. All right. And when that kicks in, you go to work. Yeah. Well, nobody went to work on that one. Salty Truth, $10. Thank you very much. Nate, do you see the video where his arm came up? Yeah, Alex talked about that. when the guys were down there. That would debunk that he died instantly. Correct. We're going to let Alex take that one. Also, no blood trail when they're walking to the SUV. Thoughts on that? That the arm moving and then no blood. We don't see any blood as he leaves, as he's being carried out either.
Yeah. So as far as his arm coming up, I can't see clearly enough. It looks like maybe it's someone lifting his arm, like moving his arm out of the way from the ground, one of those three guys. But still, to me, it's weird that if he had a massive amount of blood pouring out of his neck and he fell over on his front, that there is no blood on his arm when it goes by, which you can see. So that was
on anybody.
strange.
Well, anyone.
Well, on anyone at all. But even
there's
him,
no blood on anyone, even Charlie, which is so. All right, cool. All right, this is going to sound completely out there, but what if he wasn't actually shot but electrocuted and they got the mark on his neck somehow? Again, dude, I'm not. It was so crazy, Alex, is now like the craziest conspiracy theories ever. I'm just like, maybe.
Because I'm in the same boat. I'm not in a position to say no. I'm like, because then you start thinking about it and they're like, oh, those trapdoors in the ground, that's access to the power cables overblow. So I'm like, maybe they did electrocute him, like I don't know.
Because the official narrative is obviously not true. So if the official narrative is not true, something is true, but we don't know what it is.
Don't know what it is.
All right, retired LEO detective. Any decent defense attorney would not sign off on releasing a body so fast to check for independent evidence. Highly suspect. I will say, supposedly, Candace Owens, and take everything Candace says with a grain of salt. I think Candace is, she's a dog with a bone. I think she gets a lot of things not correct. I'll say that nicely. But she does get some things correct, and she came out and said, supposedly there was an autopsy done. I'm going to believe that because it's fucking law in Utah, and if they didn't do an autopsy, the medical examiner is going to probably go to jail, so that would be odd. But I do think it's weird is that he wasn't he on a plane with JD Vance the very next morning? Like the turnaround was like that. So to his point, very odd that they were just like, nope, got it, good, see ya, take the body. I don't know, especially with how controversial this whole thing is. The handoff didn't look like anything handed off. If not, would they be a fake handoff? Why would they fake a handoff in that situation with a man bleeding out? I'm assuming something was handed off there. Otherwise, like, what are they high-fiving? Like
that would be even weirder.
Yeah, that'd be even worse. I'm not putting that out of the realm of possibility either. All right, rifles, World War I, correct? Sporterized K98 Mauser. No, the rifle in that picture is not a World War I Mauser, brother. I'm sorry, they didn't have synthetic plastic rifles, 30-06 rifles in World War I. I think it was an air rifle, not a parrot gun. See, I told you there's a lot of people who are going with this air rifle thing. Bobby Lynn, $20. Thank you. Probably handing off the spent device that took Charlie out. This screams inside job to me. That kid is the patsy. I don't know. I don't think he's the shooter, but I think he's potentially involved. Maybe he's not involved. I mean,
and that's one thing that I kind of thought too is maybe there was this group of angry whoever they were and they had their little plan and then someone else just decided to co-opt it. They're like, their stuff's going around in chat, somebody smarter picks it up and they're like, hey, you know what, dude, these yahoos are going to try and do something. What we could actually do something, and they're dumb enough to get rolled up for it.
Alex, I've said if I when I put my tinfoil hat on, I'm like, yeah, somebody probably infiltrated this Discord channel. I thought got this kid to maybe go plant the rifle for the shooter. That way he goes to the roof spots. I didn't even think about the idea of an agitator getting these kids spun up to make this plan to do this, to knowing they're going to go try something. That's very interesting. In the if you're the CIA, that's like the definite type of shit that they're going to do with that. Very
they would never do that.
Yeah. Never heard.
No.
All right, President Nixon's revenge, $10. Thank you. How do we know these videos aren't all edited as they come from legacy media via a narrative chain of custody metadata? We don't, and in fact, that footage from him running off the roof is clearly edited. I mean, there's not even debatable on that. I'll pull that up here when we get back into it after the super chats, but that's not even debatable. It's very clearly edited. That video is very clearly edited. So if you're going to edit that video, you're going to have to explain to me why. That's bizarre. Also, that video, Alex, I don't know if it's so interesting because in that video, you see him right where he starts to run from. But you can actually see the location where he would have taken the shot from. And it starts after he's running. It's like, why don't you show us him taking the shot? We can see where he would have taken the shot from, but it's just conveniently right when he starts running.
Right, yeah.
Very odd. All right. Vince Valix, $10. I have a video I think y'all might want to see. I really believe it's a version of the original footage that was unedited. Send it to my Instagram, brother, and we will take a look at
I
it.
want to see that for sure.
Tired of the 5,000 coincidences occurring and being told to piss his rain. Congress blocked the Epstein vote, passed numerous pro-Israel bills hours after Kirk. Yes, they did. This reveals a pattern of foreknowledge. I don't know if they're connected, but I can tell you, man, like to your point, if there's 1,000 coincidences, it starts like what's Occam's razor say? Like the explanation that takes the least amount of coincidences and assumptions to make it true. And you need a lot of them for this. ProMod Gaming, $20. Thank you. I agree with you guys. Can you give your opinion about the random arm to the security guard treating him? The arm angle doesn't match the security guard's body. So Alex talked about that one already. Did it get moved? I don't know. I think I'm with you too. I think they're moving it out of the way for some reason.
Right.
I don't think he randomly. I mean, that would have been 10, 20 seconds later after he got hit in the brainstem. You wouldn't see like random, like, I don't know. You would know better than me. Randomly, is a nervous system thing going to do that?
No. And again, I can't see it clearly, but it looks like someone tried to get his arm out of the way. You can see the guy kind of move and the arm follow past. It doesn't look like him, a random movement from him to me.
And for those of you guys that haven't done trauma medicine, like very, very often, like you are moving shit out of the way to get access to an area that you might need to get access to. So who knows? We didn't
even get into that. If I was there, his shirt would have been cut off. Like he probably wouldn't be wearing pants. You don't know especially if there's no visible exit wound. Maybe it like ricocheted down and exited somewhere you can't see. Like he would be naked for sure.
I didn't even think about that, Alex. That like you would immediately rip that shirt off to find the exit.
You'd have to expose everything
to make sure the exit wound is plugged. Also, none of that was done.
No.
God, fuck, man. Now we just made it even worse thinking about like negligence or nefarious. I don't know, but that's not the way that should have been done.
No.
Did you see the video on Redacted? Got images of projectile 3 frames coming from the back. Again, I'm hesitant to believe that a 60 frames per second, 30 to 60 frames per second iPhone is going to pick up a bullet traveling at 2,500 feet per second. It's a tough sell for me. I don't know if that's even possible, but who knows? All right, $20. There is no way Tyler and Luigi are not both patsies. Both cases smell the same. Hey, been there, do these things. We will handle the rest. I mean, at least this kid, I don't know that much about the Luigi one, but this kid, I just don't, I don't know. Maybe he is, but like if gun to my head and said, did this kid, is the here's what I'd say. Gun to my head or gun to my child's head. You get one guess. Is the FBI's narrative true? I would wager my life on no, it's not true.
Personally. Same.
If I had to make that gamble, it's no every time.
And they do it to themselves because they don't ever like try and clarify anything. It's not like these dudes are living in a cave somewhere. They see all this. They see all the theories. They hear
they're posting on Twitter
about it, but it's like nobody ever. If you've got the information to clear up just one of these things, it would buy you probably a whole lot of credibility from a bunch of people that don't believe anything that you say.
But it's not like we're pretending like the current FBI is the secretive organization that doesn't say anything. They're blasting shit out on Twitter.
Oh, yeah,
it's bad information nonstop. So why are you putting out all the bad information on Twitter and then just not clearing anything up?
Right. Yeah.
Very bizarre. Fake assassination. Nothing else makes sense. I don't know. Maybe at this point, maybe it was all AI. I don't fucking know.
It's crazy. A few chats back, someone said something about the tent hologram projecting. Those were cameras. They were holograms. I hadn't even heard that. But honestly, if you've seen some of these things they do at music festivals and what they can do, now I'm like, was it a hologram? It's so crazy. Like it's good being on this chat because I've heard 10 things I hadn't heard before, and I'm going to go stay up all night thinking about them.
Here's another one. Charlie Kirk was found dead 8 days before that in a hotel room of an overdose. Way of covering it up. I don't know if Charlie Kirk was an overdose guy personally, but who knows? All right. Are you still thinking about moving to Texas? Definitely consider San Antonio. San Antonio is where I've been the last couple of times. Yeah, we are considering it. We just, we're not moving yet, but we're working on getting out of Oregon when we can. Here we go. 17 HMR is a 22 neck down to a 17 quick little round. If the shirt jumped up, again, guys, it's just you can see the massive cavitation in his neck. To me, 22 round is a definite no go based off of the impact and the actual anatomy done. I don't 22 round I think is the least likely. 9 mil round would be pushing it because it just doesn't have that cavitation effect on a round that's not moving fast enough. Anon, do certain special forces groups have more specialized teams? Oh, here we go. We got one not related. That's all right. For example,
cool.
Does first group have more dive teams than fifth group, considering their AOR? No, I don't think so. Not as far as I know. Pretty much every company is set up pretty much the same way. You got your dive team, Halo team, ASOT team, Mountain team, Maritime team, Ruck team, right? Is there anything different for you guys?
Yeah, we basically just had the Halo team, the dive team, and all the rest of the teams.
Oh, that's a little Green Beret shit talk joke right there for
you.
Yeah. Have 7 frames of film and 3 separate vids showing actual bullet. Contradict zero confidence evidence. Yep. Send them to me on Instagram. We go through all that stuff, guys. 2. Okay. All right, we just went over that one, guys. You were sending a lot of super chats. I got to get these through these fast so we can get back on track. Nate, doesn't Alex look like Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation? You do. You kind of have the mustache. Yeah. I feel like your mustache is even bigger and better than Ron's though. And you're not like super
lib. Yeah. No, so disappointing, man. So disappointing. I love that character.
I was just gonna say. All right, free men die free. Small explosive that has the most credibility because his body showed tremendous injury hitting with on par with 30-06, but the wound is most more consistent with shrapnel. That means the FBI was in on it again. I do not think that. I don't know though. A small explosive.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and again, we don't know.
With the mic explosive, guys. It's just the mic does not move the correct way. Newtonian physics, like what? Here's the thing. I love conspiracy theories. I love ideas, but like when your theory goes against Newtonian physics and ballistics, it's hard for me to be like, yep, that's a possibility. I'm not ruling it out, but hard to go down that road. France, with my hunting and shooting friends, when the 30-06 rifle came out, we knew there was a problem with this scenario. Everybody who's ever shot anything with a 30-06 or a 308 or a 300 Win Mag went, nope. Sorry, dog. Not a thing. YouTubers believe the FBI 100%. Yeah, a lot of them do. Mainstream media does too. Everybody, like all the big players, even Tucker Carlson, like all these guys who are supposed to be the big figure it out. They're outside of Candace Owens and Alex Jones. And then the rest of us are just like, yep, good to go. Put him to death. We got him. So security was in on it. I hope not. All right, I got to get through these ones quick, guys. Suspecting Utah is behind a lot, too much coincidental involvement. We'll find out. I think we can all agree whoever did it as well is connected. Too much weird stuff. Agreed. I know it's crazy. I'm not on Instagram. I'm going to send a link here. No, you can't send a link on YouTube. It'll YouTube doesn't allow links typically. Can't make a movie this bad. I'll agree with you. Thank you. Redacted YouTube channel interviewing gun theory. Cool. We'll have to look that up. All right. Where's the forensic examiner of the SUV that transported? Yeah, that would.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Huh? There would have been a treasure trove of stuff in that vehicle. We'll never see it. I can promise you that. Thank you very much, Jackie. Why was the responding FBI sent from the CT field office where the bureau is located? Also, why were there several FBI UT field agents, including the SAC, fired the week prior? That is true. I believe they fired the head of the Utah FBI like a week before this happened. Nothing to see here. I'm sure that's just another coincidence. Also, by the way, guys, he just talked about Utah being odd. Alex, did you know that footage of him walking while he's limping in front of the Ring doorbell cameras?
Uh-huh.
It turns out the guy who owns that house was the guy who ran against the current governor for the governor's office, and he just happened to be there in that driveway that day.
And he's got the only Ring camera footage. It was only came from this guy's house because nobody else in Utah has a Ring camera.
Yeah, and he was at the event with Charlie Kirk. So I'm sure that's just another super weird coincidence. Nothing to see there. Utah is a PCP airgun headquarters of America, hence Utah Air Guns. Okay, I didn't know that. Apparently that's a popular place for air guns. Now I have to look into this air gun thing because how many?
You should shoot one too. You'll love it. They're cool.
No longer trust several of my favorite podcasters, not only accepting the official narrative, but criticizing those who are questioning it. Look, here's the thing. If you aren't like I think Mike Glover was talking about this in an episode the other day, and he said, I welcome and love every conspiracy theory because it doesn't matter if some of them are so wazoo and so crazy. What it means is people are trying to figure out the truth, and they're pushing back and they're coming up with ideas, and like you sift through that. But to just be like, nope, the FBI is right and nobody should talk about it. Is that the country you guys want to live in? Alex, do you want to live in the country where when something happens, like we just 100% believe law enforcement, we just move on with our lives?
No, absolutely not. And they've proven so many times in the past, the law enforcement, the government, everybody, there's a laundry list of things that you probably wouldn't believe if you hadn't heard them that are all declassified public information now that people still just are like, yeah, but not this time. This time they're telling the truth. Yeah. It must be nice to live in a world like that, like, oh, like, yeah, probably this time.
JFK and MLK and 9/11, and like you go down the line, and like not only that, I'm like, people are like, oh, the FBI wouldn't lie. I'm like, the former director of the FBI is currently being indicted.
Yeah.
Currently he is being indicted for lying to the American people, and the Epstein files, like all this stuff. And you're like, they wouldn't do it this time though.
Yeah. No, not this time.
Yep. All right, go Bills. Okay. Had anybody spoken instigated the tunnel underneath the trap door? Candace went through the tunnel. I don't want to say the word. The tunnel tiny hats theory. I don't know about the tunnel tiny hats. Munchkin Cat Fund, and Nikki MGTV, your mustache sucks. Oh, that's a massive insult. Alex is 1,000 times cooler than that dude. First of all. But thank you for the Munchkin Cat Fund. All right, it was an IDL lapel. All right, I'm gonna have to do a video on this lapel mic theory because it's just so many people still think it. Again, I'm not disproving it, but who knows? There's a video, top down for security, bringing it to him in the car. Kirk is covered in blood. Really? Show me that video. Send it to me.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I would love to see that because everything I have seen goes against what you're saying there. Lucas Godoy, $10. The FBI dude who's definitely not scared of toilets said in a press conference that that rifle is Mauser 98. There's a lot of synthetic stocks for it. Not in World War I. There was not. Do not say that. That is not true. They did not make synthetic plastic stocks on pre-World War I 30-06s. Now, again, the FBI has come out and said that photo they showed is not the rifle that is supposedly the one that was used. So I don't know what that rifle is. Apparently it was leaked by Steven Crowder in the ATF or something. I'm not sure. Emailed you just now. Okay, got it. Candace saw the blood on his hand in a rear camera video. Okay, well, let's see that rear camera video. I'm tired of people saying that and us not getting that. Actually, no, what Candace Owen said is there was no exit wound or no blood. She said that very specifically. Does anybody remember the 9mm shells on the roof the FBI showed immediately after? They showed 9mm shells. I haven't seen that, but that's a shot with a 9mm, dude.
Yeah.
139, dude. 139-yard shot with this bad boy from a roof. That's a professional. Now we're talking about professionals.
It wasn't Tyler Robinson if that was the case.
Yeah, sure. Now we know. All right, Jeremy with a big $100 dono. Thank you so much. What if this is a huge plot to create something? I feel like you've been drinking, brother. It was hit with a rubber bullet, fake death, and he's now a shadow player. Thank you so much for the big dono. I wish I could even diagnose what we're saying here. Fake death. I mean, here's the crazy thing, Alex. At this point, I'm not even if somebody could prove that they faked the whole thing, I would just be like, okay.
Yeah, it's better than what we know now. If someone could actually prove it, nobody's proved anything yet.
It's almost more realistic that this was a hologram than the FBI scenario.
Yeah, for sure. That's where we're at now. It's crazy. Yeah.
The legend of Rob O'Neill lives on, hoping the FBI is in on it, but can't trust him. Keep it up, boys. However you feel about Rob O'Neill, he came out and said the exact same things that me and Alex are saying now, which should tell you guys something. When all the guys in our community are all saying the exact same thing. Yeah. I think there's an air rifle theory is plausible. No exit wound. Compact versions could fit in a backpack. Again, yeah. Alex, can you shoot an air rifle from 139 yards, or is it a close
these things are crazy. They're crazy.
It shoots air. I don't understand.
No, it shoots around. It shoots around just using compressed air. You charge them up and it shoots
compressed air.
Yeah. Oh. So you screw like we used to go paintballing. It's kind of that. They screw that thing on the front. But I mean,
they use those with the potato guns.
Yeah, same thing. But yeah, I mean, they can. Okay. These things can really send around a lot of very high speed and a lot of energy.
Okay, I was thinking. I think this thing is like a burst of air. I'm like, how's air?
No, like a sniper with they're crazy. They're a lot of fun to shoot.
Compressed there. Got it. Yeah. Got it. All right. So we can't say that on here, guys. We're getting cracked down pretty hard, unfortunately, on that. Killed 3,000 in Lebanon with explosive pagers and bragged about it. Yeah, I know they did. And that's why when people talk about this lapel mic thing, I'm like, well, maybe. Because we do know, if you would have told me before this happened that you could pull that off and pagers could be bombs, I'd be like, what are you talking about? But they can. So Vet's talking. What's up, brother? I keep thinking there must have been some kind of DARPA level tech we don't know about. We always said tech is out there. At least 10 years more advanced. It's literally what we were just saying.
Yeah.
Yep. We just talked about that one. Cash Patel's girlfriend. Yeah. Well, she's most likely a Mossad agent. There's that. TK and Shrek were part of a super secret mission with Mossad to take out Charlie. We'll get the full story when TK's next book comes out in a couple years. Alex, how angry do you think TK is right now that he isn't like able to be the leading charge on Fox News and like
I just picture
he should
him at home.
run right now.
I picture him. Yeah, I picture him like that meme of the kid sitting at the desk and he's like, he just wants to get into it so bad, but now he's just making sad divorce mom.
And his lawyers are like, nope, you cannot
you stay
fucking
away
post
from
that.
this.
Yeah, dude, don't fucking do it.
Don't
bro.
do it.
Yeah. Can you compare the audio shot to airgun videos? I mean, that's the one I'd have to get into. Wife said we need to let TPU. We still want answers. Yeah, we do. FBI is still hunting the real shooter. I hope they are, but I don't think they are, as far as I know. My last tour was in 2009. I was guarding poppy fields, if you know what our government was really doing. Yeah, I know. This is like, yeah, the government, right? If you've worked for it, I feel like, Alex, like all of us that worked for the government are the ones that are like, yeah, this is probably bullshit.
Exactly.
So people that haven't worked for the government, they're like, the government wouldn't lie to us.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, you get a little bit of firsthand experience and you're like, no, these dudes are not it. No.
All right, Fragile Wolf, y'all be crazy. I will have to know, like, Tyler was like a level 5 Illuminati magician, did magical things. The voice is very, I mean, he is he's got a magic backpack. The one thing, he's got Dora Explorer's backpack on him because
it's the Mary Poppins bag where you just keep pulling stuff out of it. He's just setting up. It's got all these clothes and stuff.
Yeah, Mary Poppins, David Blaine, Dora the Explorer. He's got something on it. All right, DOD's drone testing with air tech. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some drone theories. There were drones flying around that day. Just trust the Indian dude who flies all the time.
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay, that's good. Well, we know for sure is the official story's bullshit. I agree with you that. All right, camera, air gun. I got to look into this air gun thing because people are really on it. Jason Goodman believes that an air gun was used behind the tent. Shows the projectiles moving. All right, all right, guys. I'm gonna investigate the air gun theory next. Rooftop camera captures the entire rooftop, including the area was shot. We need to pressure the FBI. Yeah, and so show us him taking the shot. What is the problem? All right, thoughts on broken down rifles accuracy. This is an interesting one. If you didn't take the scope off of the rifle, it would probably be fine. But again, if I was going to carry out an assassination, Alex, I'm not going to break down my 30-06 into 3 pieces and try to reassemble it and hope that the 0 is still right. Yeah, that's a good question though. What about pre-recorded rifle shot with a loudspeaker and tumble on 223 suppressed? I mean, pre-recorded rifle shot. I don't know. I think, like, honestly, an unsuppressed 223 would sound just as loud on an iPhone as we've seen. So, I don't know. Timothy McGee, I think there's something smaller than a 30-06 and higher intervention. It's definitely smaller than a 30-06, in my opinion. I mean, again, the dude's head didn't get blown off. So,
yeah. Did you shoot a side of beef or something like that?
No, I shot a cow femur wrapped in 6 pieces of beef, and it exploded.
Everywhere.
And then I shot. Do I have it here? I have it right here. And then I shot. This is the 1/2-inch steel, right? We're talking. This is thicker. This is thicker than my finger. That blew through 1/2-inch steel from about 120, 130 yards.
Yeah.
So that's not a thing. All right, we made it. We finally made it. Jesus, guys, thank you so much. All right, let's get back to the show. Where was I at? I wanted to talk next about. We got the security guards and all the wacky shit with that. I want to talk about what's bizarrely changed with the parents, the father. Have you heard this, Alex? Where
I've heard a little bit of it.
We all heard this, right? That we know the official story. He carried the assassination out. He sends this Shakespearean 12th century weird admission of guilt to his furry trans boyfriend, admitting to literally everything he did, talking about changing my outfit. What man do you know says 22-year-old man says, I'm going to change my outfit? No,
Yeah.
you change your clothes. Like, all this shit's bizarre. And then we hear, of course, this brave father who Tyler comes home and he admits it to his dad, and his dad turns him in. None of that's true. And even the sheriff's department came out and said that's not true. What actually happened was that a family friend who apparently used to work for the sheriff's department went over to Tyler's house because he recognized him from the pictures and convinced Tyler and the family that Tyler needs to turn himself in, or the SWAT team was going to show up and kill him. So he's essentially coerced to turning himself in. He turns himself in, and he's never pled guilty or never admitted to anything. That was always bizarre too. Like, he admits it to his dad and then he won't cooperate and won't admit to anything. But now that we know the yeah, here we go. I'm going to pull it up because Candace got this right, guys, because again, she showed the Utah County sheriffs literally say this is what happened. But she talks about this in this clip here where this whole story is completely changed.
Most interest to me, what I've learned is that his father does not believe, his parents don't believe that their son committed this crime. I was like, huh? Excuse me? That's a far cry from what the media has been telling us. Remember, the media presented this amazing story. The father realized his son was guilty, so it goes, right? And then he phoned over a friend to help him convince his son to turn himself in, because this guy, this mysterious guy was a friend and just had a connection with Tyler. And eventually they said, you got to do the right thing here. We know this is you. That was the vibe. Certainly that's what the media was putting down for us to pick up. Well, I was told actually that it was kind of the opposite. That quote unquote family friend, who we learned was a former detective with the police force, informed the family. It was that in-between person that informed the family that Tyler had been identified as the shooter. He recognized him. He knows Tyler. He gives them the heads up. And then I'm told, and I believe this, that the way in which he got arrested, or rather turned himself in, was because that family friend / neighbor / former detective told him, hey, it's best for you to turn yourself in because there's only one of two options here. Either you turn yourself in and everything is peaceable, or, the SWAT team could come in here and arrest you and things would get crazy.
All right. So those of you who, again, are like, I can't believe Candace. Unfortunately, Candace showed in this episode, the Utah County sheriff came up in front of the podium and literally acknowledged everything that she said. So this isn't debatable. The Utah County sheriffs have acknowledged this is how that went down. So this is, again, when we get into bizarreness, we went from Tyler admits to everything in this poetic message, comes home, tells dad, and dad turns him in, to that's not the fucking story at all. Some random sheriff comes over that just happens to know them and recognizes him and forces him to turn himself in. That's very bizarre. Like, what's your thoughts on that? Because again, this is one of those things. Why these stories keep changing? What's your thoughts on that, where we went from this brave father and the family that knew he did it to like, oh, none of that's true? Why would that be reported that way?
I don't know. And it went even further than that. I remember, like, it went so far when people were still believing that. They were like, and the father was going to get the $1 million reward, right, but he felt like it wasn't good, so he donated it to Charlie Kirk. Like, that was all bullshit. None of that happened,
Right, dude.
Did the neighbor get the $1 million? Like, there was $1 million out there, like, whatever. But again, it's like,
yes,
all these things, you're like, how do you expect anyone to believe any part of the official narrative when we got so far down the journey of his father turning him in, donating the $1 million to Charlie Kirk's family? Like, I'm like, none of that was true.
None of it's true.
And I think, and when you look at it now, it's far more likely that someone else recognized him and maybe they were nice enough to be like, hey, go turn yourself in before we call the SWAT team or whatever. That's feasible if you knew him or were in the neighborhood, but far more likely when you look at them side by side than the dad felt bad and turned his own son in and donated the $1 million. Like,
yeah, and it's like we know that it's just, and so now, and now I feel like a lot of lost some lighting in here. What's going on? Oh no, I'm good. So now also to caveat this, we had this again, this admission to his parents, then he did it. Well, now we know the family and Tyler's hired the Menendez brothers legal team. I mean, we're talking like high fucking powered. I think I got a clip of it. You don't hire the Menendez brothers legal. This is like hiring Johnny Cochran. Like you don't you don't hire the Menendez brothers legal team if you're going to plead guilty. Like, so they're confident that he's not the shooter. He's innocent. They're going to plead not guilty and they're going to take this to trial with some of the best lawyers in the world, which to me,
that right there tells you that, like, not only do they think he didn't do it, they also think he's screwed right now. Like, they also are like, we need the absolute best. You know, it's not like, oh, well, just let the public defender handle it or get the guy from down the block. Like, they went out and found someone that's been in some of the biggest, like, murder trials ever, tons of experience, because I'm pretty sure they're looking at this right now and they're watching the news and they're like, the FBI is saying he did it and he didn't do it, you know?
Yeah, and I just saw somebody in chat say they did. They tried to appoint him with a court-appointed lawyer at first, and the family said, and here's a clip on that.
We got to talk about this because it is absolutely wild. The man accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk just hired some incredibly serious legal muscle. Tyler Robinson has officially brought on not just one, but multiple high-profile attorneys. Leading the charge is Kathy Nestor, and is backing her up is Michael Burt, which, by the way, if you guys don't know who Michael Burt is, he defended Lyle Menendez back in the original Menendez brothers trial that ended up in a hung jury. And when you think about how much experience he's had, think about how long ago the original Menendez brothers trial was. This tells you how much weight that this guy brings to the table. Now, this is not a discount defense team. These are lawyers with experience in some of the most infamous cases of the last few decades. Robinson clearly isn't playing around. He's putting together a team that's going to cost big money, but one that also knows how to fight tooth and nail in a courtroom. So here's the real question. With a legal team this strong, could we actually see the outcome of this case shift in his favor? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And of course, make sure that you're following.
All right. So he's not wrong here when he talks about this. This is like, again, you're basically hiring like Johnny Cochran. You're hiring a mega powered team. You believe that your son is innocent. And again, if the parents, this initial story is that his son admitted to it, you're not hiring the Menendez legal team if you think if your son already admitted to doing this. So what blows me away now is they're going to go to trial with the most botched bullshit investigation I think we've ever seen in modern FBI and high notoriety against one of the best legal teams in the world as a defense team. And they're gonna prove what? They're gonna prove this kid is the shooter when there's YouTubers that have disproved the possibility through Newtonian physics that this kid could have taken the shot. This kid, in my opinion, unless we get some like massive, corruption or something going on, this kid's not getting convicted of anything, in my opinion. There's no evidence to support with an amazing legal team like this. They're going to destroy this prosecution.
Oh yeah, I mean, people can get trials thrown out for like little minuscule, like improper techniques used in gathering evidence and all. Like stuff can just get totally discounted and thrown out. There's not even enough looking at it here, other than some weird surveillance cameras that don't show him with a gun, show him falling off. Like, I wouldn't even think you could bring a case against him.
Personally, with a legal team that good, I don't think, like, what is your case?
Right, exactly.
Your case legitimately, and we've seen the FBI say this is literally the FBI's case, Alex. He drove 3.5 hours to a campus he's never been to before, changes his clothes, or goes to the roof in an outfit that, even though they already fucked that up because he hadn't changed his clothes yet, he's in the outfit he supposedly changed his clothes to, with a 30-06 rifle that's not even possible for him to have on his body. We showed that at the beginning of the episode. It's not possible he had it in his backpack. Takes the shot, assassinates Charlie Kirk from an angle that's not even possible for that wound to even have happened the way it happened, with a round that's not possible for the wound that we saw to happen, then runs off the roof without the rifle into the woods, where he somehow magically has the rifle again, where he dumps it in the woods wrapped in a towel, drives to Dairy Queen right after, to a Dairy Queen that doesn't actually potentially even exist, and then drives home, turns himself in, but doesn't actually turn himself in. That's the FBI's case. That's their narrative. And they're
it just made me think of something else that I hadn't even thought about. You know, the screwdriver on the roof?
Mm-hmm.
Did they fingerprint that? Did it have his fingerprints on it?
They said it matches the DNA. Here's the problem with that. You don't use a screwdriver to break down a World War II, World War I era 30-06. It's not the tool you even fucking use. So why did he have for his scope? Was it maybe he was adjusting his scope? But also, why are you making changes to your fucking scope right before you're going to take the shot? You're going to re-zero the scope right before you shoot? What?
And if the only thing he had a screwdriver, the ability was to adjust the scope, that means the gun wasn't broken down when he carried it up the stairs, and there's no possible way ever it could have been in the back of his pants. I would have been sticking up over his head.
Look at this. There's people out here that saying I'm a Mr. Tinfoil Hat grifter. Nothing about what I say is tinfoil. I'm looking at things objectively through science, but you have fucking retards like this. They do, Alex. They believe this fucking idiot believes the FBI's narrative. What I just said, he listened to that and went, "Yup, got it." You know what I mean? And that's what's crazy, is that there's gonna be people that, and we see it already on Fox News. What's crazy to me though, and I don't know if I talked to you about it, but my aunt, love her to death, hardcore evangelicalist. Like, she is the first person that would most likely believe this narrative, and like it's a miracle. She the type of person that would believe the steel neck narrative. She sent me a message, and she literally was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not an expert. I don't know anything about this, but nothing about this case makes sense. And like went into detail about how she doesn't believe anything that's happening. And I'm like, if she doesn't believe the official narrative, who does? Is it just bots? Is it just, we just have like Iranian and Russian bots now in the chat? Are they the only people that believe this? Who believes this?
I'm starting to wonder if maybe now the tinfoil hats are the ones that believe the FBI, and all 100%. The rest of us are just realists that look at this stuff, because I was here for the whole chat. You know, I watch the videos you put up, and I leave that thinking, oh man, if the defense really wants a good expert, they'll bring in that math guy that did the video and have that
100%.
But the dude that you just showed, he watched this whole thing and was like, no way, bro, FBI. For sure. And I'm like, did you watch the show?
But guys, you were at the live last week. We had Chris Piehoto, who used to be one of the directors of the FBI, come on and say he doesn't believe the FBI narrative. So
yeah, but he used to be in the FBI, bro. He probably got kicked for about these new FBI guys, though. These ones are on it. They got it right.
Yeah, it's just I agree with you that I think the people who believe the FBI narrative, the story I just told, I think they're the biggest tinfoil hat people out of everybody. I think that's the biggest conspiracy. And we're like, if you had to believe, because again, Occam's razor states like whatever takes the most assumptions is the least likely to be true. The FBI narrative takes the most assumptions to make it true. You got to have this, you got to have a magic backpack. You got to have a 30-06 with some type of round that somehow like it squibbed, it fired, it was 100 grain and it hit a tree branch and it tumbled. Like it's all these crazy fucking things you have to get to make the FBI narrative work. It does this. It's insane.
I agree completely.
And it's driving me crazy. I think it's driving all of us crazy because we're just looking at this going like, none of this is possible.
And then the other thing is you haven't even like given a theory. You didn't sit down and you were like, this is what I believe happened. All you've done is explore different things from different people that could be possible, not throwing them out of the realm of if it's real stupid, sure, we'll throw it out. But like, you're just gathering data and putting out information, you know, like.
That's literally all I've done. Even when I've gone on Alex Jones' show, I've tried to be like very meticulous and like I'm open to all possibilities. Some of these things maybe make sense, some of them don't. But like the only possibility I'm not open to the literal like I'm open to like the palm guns and the air guns and like the trap doors and all this holograms. I'm open to everything except for the official FBI narrative. That is the one that I can go, I know for 100% fact this is not possible.
Yeah.
So that's yeah. So it's absolutely fucking crazy. All right, let's hit some super chats. Oh, also, real quick, guys. Again, we're gonna keep doing this as we move it through because Alex, also thank you for joining us tonight. This has been a great one.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
Me and Alex will definitely do more content together in the future. So guys, again, if you're just tuning in, I'm gonna keep putting Alex's stuff up on pinned comment, brand new YouTube channel. If you guys are enjoying the content with Alex, obviously you're gonna enjoy his content there. Go over there, subscribe to his channel. It's gonna be good. Alex, tell me again what you're gonna be doing for all the.
I was gonna say like the reason to subscribe and check this out is because this new show is all about you guys. Like the show doesn't work without you. I want to hear your stories. I'm using my platform to open a phone line and let everybody tell their stories about being in the military. So if you like hearing stories, if you got stories you want to tell, that's the place for you. We'll open up the phone lines every week and we'll listen to the wildest stories from around the country.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
It's gonna be wild.
Everybody who's been in the military is like, "Oh fuck, dude."
Yeah, but that's why I'm like, but you could be anonymous if you want to, because I know some of y'all are still in, and I know some of y'all don't want your wives to know it was you on the story that you tell. It was in the past, but whatever. So come on, anonymous, dude. Tell the craziest fucking story you have from the military. We want to hear that stuff.
Yep. All right. So pin comment of this video, guys. Get over there, subscribe to Alex. And yeah, all right, let's hit some super chats, and then we're getting close to me having to bail out of here to go to the kids' game. I think did I miss anything? Oh, we've covered like 20 different fucking things that don't make sense. Is there anything I missed that doesn't? They're probably at this point.
No, at this point, I've heard more things that I don't understand. So
I know it's all right. Here we go. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, General Cromwell, $20. Thank you very much for the generosity, brother. Beyond insane conspiracy, why would the FBI lie about the killer weapon to cover up incompetence, their own involvement, covering the right-wing organizations, or cover up for Israel, not protecting trans? That's for sure. I do not necessarily believe that the FBI is the nefarious party here. I believe that the FBI is incredibly incompetent. That's
what I was going to say is out of all those possible scenarios, I would believe that covering up their own incompetence to try and save face would probably be the most likely of those.
And I think there's realistic in that, because think about this, guys. Let's say you're the FBI, you're Kash Patel. You've stepped on your own dick 10 times already. Nobody believes anything you have to say. Imagine, and he kind of did come out and say this, but imagine if Kash Patel comes out and goes, "Yeah, you guys are right. We don't think this is the kid, the shooter, and we have no idea what's going on." Guess what? You're fired. Dan Bongino's fired. Everybody's fucking fired. So I don't think they can. I don't think they can backtrack. I think they're like, this is our narrative, and if we fucking veer off, like, we're fucked.
And the other thing is they need the people that believe in them. If they come out and say, "Hey, no, we were totally wrong. It's actually this," they're going to lose even more of that. Like public perception of FBI is not at its all-time high right now.
That's
so
all-time low.
They come out and they're like, "Oh, by the way, we completely fucked this whole thing up, and now it's this now." No one's ever going to believe them again. It's
just kidding.
They declassify some files 20 years from now. Enough people are going to be like, "Okay, whatever." They come out now and say that they were wrong. They're going to immediately lose, any public faith they have.
Just kidding. All the YouTubers were right.
Yeah.
Well, then it's going to be like, why the fuck are we spending $1 billion a year on the FBI? Fucking fire all these people.
FBI is going to come out YouTubers. They're going to come out with a new contest. It's like, "Hey, are you a YouTuber that wants to work for the FBI?"
That's actually hilarious. So yeah, I agree with you. I think it's incompetence. And they fucked it up, and now they're just like, this is what we got. And also, they didn't lock down a crime scene. They did no further investigations, and so it's like they got what they got, and now they're they're gonna take it to court and find out if they win or not. So we'll see. All right, and that's gonna be wild too, man. That court case. Oh, we're kind of at the start of this thing. When that court case, if they make it public too, oh my god. All right, Blink 182. Based on the lack of evidence against Tyler to keep the narrative, he dies. Okay, see, I see this one a lot, and I think there's a high possibility of this. I can tell you this, guys. if this kid commits suicide before the trial, wrap it up, dude. I'm like, signed, sealed, delivered, boom, stamped. Absolute fucking government involvement. You wouldn't be able to ever convince me otherwise. So we'll find out. Erica's dad worked for a defense contractor. She didn't just work for a defense contractor. She started Raytheon Israel, or not she. Her dad started Raytheon Israel. So that's fucking weird. But again, could just be a coincidence. It doesn't mean anything necessarily. Then while Trump was in office, she had Charlie met in interviews for Turning Point. Honeypot, yeah, I see a lot of people talking about that. Her mom was also a defense contractor, as far as I understand. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's very odd that her dad just, stood up Raytheon Israel. But, okay, whatever. Where was the gunpowder residue test on the gunman? Oh, I don't. There probably wasn't one.
No.
I had to guess.
Should there have been? Yeah.
Yeah. They also should have locked down the crime scene, and they didn't do that. So
No.
I doubt there is. Video of Charlie getting mic'd up, as well as other great footage. It's on They Live Truth channel at 109, posted 6 days ago. Him getting mic'd up. Okay, I'll check that out. Again, that mic. The other thing is that mic's so small. It's one of those Rode mics. It'd be like, again, I don't know with what they have out there. Maybe you could somehow create some type of device out of that. It seems very small because I've seen 22 pen guns, and they're like, about that big that you can get a 22 round to shoot out of a pen gun. But I digress. Video of Charlie getting mic. Oh no, we got that one already. What if the answer is right in front of our faces? The rear camera. Well, the rear camera is the one thing they won't let us see. We'll make a trial or some sort of accident happen. We just talked about that. Have we disproven an Ant-Man technology situation that can explain? But an Ant-Man went into his neck and exploded out the side. Honestly, man, as silly as that sounds, why not? Fuck it.
Also, still better than current FBI narrative.
Yeah. Physically could be possible. Physics say that might be possible, if you had the tech for it. Mike Cooper with a big $50 donut. Thank you very much, man. Very, very generous of you. Love you. You've been on with Alex Jones the last couple of weeks. My girlfriend and I watch your stuff, but I've been watching Alex since I was 2015. Yeah, Alex apparently seems to like me, I guess. I don't know why. But it's fun going on there. The assassin will get Epstein, and the cameras weren't working in the jail either. I wouldn't be shocked, guys. I'm not going to be shocked at all. What if the FBI can't disclose any new evidence due to it being an active investigation? Then why did they disclose all the evidence they've already disclosed? I've seen this one, Alex, and people are like, oh, where they're hiding all this evidence. First of all, you can't hide evidence for trial because you have to give it up in discovery to the defense team. So you can't hide evidence. But why would the FBI, who we've seen, can't step on their dick hard enough to get information out on Twitter? Kash Patel, we got him. We don't got him. We got him. We don't got him. Here's the gun. That's not the gun. Here's the shooter. Maybe it's not the shooter. The FBI has been shoving the information out as fast as they can. But now all of a sudden they're like, oh, but this stuff that actually is going to prove we're right, that we're not going to show you. Does that make sense to you?
No, not at all.
Bizarre.
They can't seem to help themselves and stop posting, so it seems like if they had anything, they would post it.
Even Kash Patel came out, guys, this is maybe 4 or 5 days ago, and he came out and even acknowledged, he was like, you know what? We're actually going to investigate. And he went conspiracy line.
I saw that. Yeah.
As possibilities. And it's well, that just means you're not confident in your own fucking story at all. If you're publicly announcing that, oh, we're going to look into everything you guys are talking about. Well, what do you mean? I thought you had assault.
This was another thing that I thought weird that we hadn't covered. Typically when something like this happens, the FBI or the investigating authority will be like, if you've got any footage of this, send it all into us. We want every angle. We want if you were there, we want to talk to you. None of that. None of that. Who knows how many different cell phone videos there are that haven't been seen? You would think if you were investigating, you'd want every single one of them. Yeah, we know how it is. People stand at concerts and film the entire thing. You don't think half the crowd was filming it? There's all kinds of footage out there.
All right, we're gonna run a poll right now. Do you believe the FDI narrative 2 weeks later? Everything we found, everything we've heard. Let me know what you guys think. All the regular people out there, veterans, law enforcement, whoever you may be, it doesn't matter. Let me know what you guys think. Do you believe the official FBI
You can't even say it without cracking a smile.
I know.
Bro.
Yeah. It's so stupid, dude.
That's how good it is.
And it's like I watched. Remember the Trump assassination attempt, the Butler shooting. Like there was some bizarre stuff with that, but you were like, we can kind of explain away, discrepancies, and like a lot of it sort of like who was behind it was like the big thing, but like there was nothing like this where it was just like, oh, hey, here's the story, even though it's literally not scientifically possible. You guys need to believe this, and we're not changing it, and we're not gonna and everybody in the mainstream is gonna accept it. It's just good. We're good. Fox News,
and they know that. They know that, which is the crazy part. Is like they just I firmly believe that they just believe that the majority of the country, they can say whatever they want, and they'll get enough people that'll be like, yeah, that sounds right. Like they don't have to really try.
Well, and usually that's what works. Usually they can just be like, here's what happened, put it on Fox News. All the boomers are like, yep, got it. That's not happening. I talked to my parents, my mom, who's just like, yep, nope. You're just talking to regular people that are like, not like Green Berets or Marines or, like even law enforcement or like hunters. It's just like your average person is like, nah, dude. Like, sorry, FBI, but like, we don't believe you. Oh, and I'm going to pull up our statistics on this poll right now. Right now, we're looking at 96% of the chat says no, they do not believe the FBI narrative 2 weeks later. 96%. 4% of you out there, God bless your hearts. I mean, you guys are hanging in there tough. I mean, 4% is like, if you think about when we talked about tinfoil, if I were to ask a question about an official story, if we did the moon landing, you would have a way closer split than that.
Oh, yeah,
like,
for sure.
Or JFK. Like, all of these would be like way closer splits, like 20-80, 70-30. This is 96-4.
Yeah.
What are we even talking about anymore, man? It's so okay. I don't want to get, because I try to keep myself grounded, and like we're gonna approach this objectively, but it's just like it's getting so outrageous at this point. All right, so shit, this was a good one. Hour and 45. Again, I'm gonna put up this one more time. Alex's channel, the Sticky Green Beret. Pin comment. Get over there. Subscribe to Alex. Also, tons of people are gonna watch this afterwards, so make sure you guys get over there. Check out his channel. We are about to wrap it up. Alex, anything else you want to let the chat know? This has been a good one. We've had anywhere between 6,000 and 10,000 concurrent viewers. Thank you all so much for listening to me and Alex fucking rant about this. Hopefully, like, you get multiple Green Berets on here, just like, nope, not true. And, even guys like Rob O'Neill, DevGru operators, nope, not true. Hopefully that gives some credibility to what we're talking about. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't.
And honestly, man, I think that's like the important part about what you're doing here is just putting out the information. You're going to find more stuff. You're going to find more videos. That 4% might go to 3%. It might go to 2%. Like it's the more things that come out, the more questions people are going to have. And if they go to a central place and find all the things that give them questions, it's a good thing to be doing for sure.
Yeah. Again, guys, I think, and some people will be like, oh, you shouldn't be doing content on this or taking advantage of his death. No, I don't think that's, this is more important than just, for one, I don't believe Charlie would think that, but I think this is more important than just this situation, because we have to get to a point to where when things like this happen, we get truth. And I think everybody in America is so fucking sick of being lied to by the government, especially by the government, that it's like, no, we're not just going to fucking sit down and let you just feed us bullshit anymore. There's too much access to information. Like, we want to know the truth. And I don't think there's anything wrong with even Candace Owens. Like, a lot of the stuff Candace puts out, I'm like, okay, well, I could disprove that pretty fast, but I don't have any problem with her doing it, because at least she's trying to find out what happened. Unlike the mainstream, which apparently is just, we're still just like, yeah, hey, whatever the narrative is, that's what we go with, So any last thoughts before? Oh God, now we're getting super chats flooding in. Of course, this always happens. All right.
No, man, I was just gonna say that Oh man, I had it and I lost it. Oh, basically that, like, I feel like that's a cop out when people are like, "Oh, don't make content about it." It's those are the people that don't want their minds changed, the people that are afraid of the truth. It's not this. The investigation is circling around what happened to Charlie Kirk, but it's not using Charlie Kirk for content. These are questions that need to be asked regardless of who it is. It's not just because it happened to Charlie Kirk. If it happened to Joe Blow on the corner doing an open mic and all of these things, all these questions were there, we'd still have the same questions. It still would need to be gone into. And what it really is looking at the narrative that we're being fed, why we're being fed it, should we believe it? And if not, what's the truth? Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to know the truth. Like, I feel like you should want to know the truth, which is weird that I should even have to say that.
We're getting like so gaslit in America at this point where it's like your point where people who want to know the truth, people are like, you should just shut your fucking mouth. What? Dude? Because I want to know, like, if something crazy happened, if my, like, I don't know, a foreign government was behind this. Like, it's not like I'm just saying conspiracy, like, oh, Israel did it or, oh, our government did it. What if a foreign fucking government did this? Like, to create division within the United States and cause civil war and all this stuff. Like, we would want to know that, I think. Like,
yeah, and also what if it wasn't a foreign government? What if it was a radical group that's here that exists? They got their one done and they're gonna do more. Wouldn't you want to figure out who they are so you could stop them?
And they're gonna keep killing people. You would think.
Right. You probably want to figure out who those guys are.
But they're like, nope, lone gunman, didn't work with anybody. Nobody else was involved, even though like 6 fucking social media accounts posted about this was going to happen before it happened. Like, it's obvious very clearly that this wasn't a lone gunman. Like, whoever did it, I don't know. But I don't think anybody's like, yeah, it's just a random 22-year-old kid from out of town who's never been to campus, but just happened to know all of these things and a magic backpack with all
with grandpa's rifle.
Yeah, with grandpa's rifle. It's just like, fuck, dude. But anyway, let's hit these last couple super chats. We'll get out of here. Inform Optimus, $10. Charlie ain't dead. Yeah, at this point, I'm like, yeah, he might not be. Who knows? I don't know why he'd want to give up what he's got, but Mike Cooper, thank you very much, $20. Ouch Jones, like you because you're accurate and truthful. He tries to get to those people as his guests. Love you, former United States Marine Corps Pogue. I love that you introduced yourself that way. Good for you, brother. What dirt did he have? Did he have the files? Again, I don't know. Bob Bitchin, $20. I believe that every general that has talked down to the other day should have called the MPs and had the 2 arrested for violating their oath of Constitution. He swore the same oath. So what did you say on it? What are we talking about here? Every general that was Pete Hegseth? Yeah, I mean, fucking whatever, dude. Like, if you're a general, like, I don't have any faith in the generals either, guys. Like, I'm pretty sure me and Alex fought wars that they fucked up nonstop. So I don't really feel like everybody's like, Pete Hegseth shouldn't have said that to the generals, just because, like, I don't necessarily like Pete Hegseth that much, but I don't give a fuck that he lectured generals. These generals, like, do you know how much time generals have wasted of me and Alex in our careers? Like, I don't mind that they had their fucking time wasted. I'll just say that.
I wish he would do every general has to take a PT test and we put it on pay-per-view, and I guarantee you could raise a whole bunch of money for a cause. I'd tune in to see that. Tell me you wouldn't want to see some fat general running death trying to run a 2 mile.
The funniest one I saw, one of my buddies sent me, he was like, dude, you know how funny it would have been if it would have been a random UA? He gathered every general across the country, and it was just a random piss test.
Oh my god, it's so funny, dude.
Just like, yeah, you fuckers do it to us. How does it feel?
So funny. That would be awesome.
Right. Joe Saunders, lied to. Even though we try to speak something true, we expect to be lying to. I know that's the thing, man. Like, we just expect to be lied to now, and that's part of the fucking problem, man. Thank you, Joe. All right, last one, then we're going to bounce out of here. Jamie Ellman, $10. If you wanted to do the job, the cameras from TP USA would be the best way to conceal the weapons, whatever technology was involved. The cameras were the best position to pull it off. I don't know about camera guns. Again, you'd have to have it. The camera is set perfectly still. You'd have to, like, get Charlie at the right time. Maybe. I'm just not discounting it. It's possible. What do you guys think of the high-powered air pistol theory? Shot from the back, hello from Australia. What's up, brother? Love Australia, of course. And the air gun theory. That's my next deep dive, because the fact we had 50 comments about that tonight, and even Alex like, yeah, it's badass. And I'm like,
yeah, they are. People are killing hogs with them. You can do some damage.
I figured you wouldn't know, and you were like, "No, dude, they're badass." So now I have to look into it. All right. So again, guys, pin comment, go subscribe to Alex's channel. Thank you very much, Alex, for coming on, giving your expertise. We'll definitely have Alex back on now that he's finally not just behind an Instagram meme page and has shown his face, and he's in the actual YouTube space. I love you, brother. You've been a great friend for a long time. So everyone, that's going to do it for this one. I got to get to the kids' football game. Alex, any last thoughts?
No, man, I really appreciate you having me on. It was fun. It was a good flow, good conversation. Definitely have to have you come on once I get my show up and running, and I'm pretty sure we'll do this again in the future.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, everybody. Thank y'all very much. Thanks for the great live. We are out of here. All right.